Okay, today we are going to make a railing and a street light. And the street light is great because it can add some cool dynamic lighting and you'll be able to array it, hopefully, and it will just work. We'll see. We'll see if we can get that to work. But you should be able to just do an array modifier and it should be able to duplicate it while giving light, dynamic lighting. And then the railing should also be duplicatable. I want this to be as fast as possible. This is mostly for if you already know Blender. Not too detailed as far as what I'm doing. More like every keystroke isn't going to be said. We'll see. No promises. That being said, I already have a scene kind of set up here, as you can see, just so we can see our lighting. Let's move forward. First things first, let's get a Shift A. We're going to add a cylinder, drop this down to 21. We don't need much more than that. And hide this, scale this down, probably about that big. And we could probably scale it up a little bit more than that, like this. Scale on the Z axis, and I might view selected for now. We're going to shade smooth, shade auto smooth, tab, get rid of that face, get rid of this face down here, and we are going to grid fill that. That should work. Right, let's grid fill that. Kind of wonky, but whatever. Grid fill, happy. This one worked really well. The other one didn't. Whatever, who cares? We're not going to see down there. Now, with this selected, I want to inset. Let's hit 3, hit faces, I, inset, Control Z, 3, inset, like that. That works great. Scale that down. Control R, have a loop cut, tab, cool. We happy. Control A, set the scale, add a bevel modifier. That should be fine. Looks like we have some weird shading issues going on there. So what I might do is tab, control, let's go, and we are going to auto mirror this. We're going to go on the Z axis, enter. Shading issues gone, tab, we could just apply that, tab, yeah. Now it's exactly the same, top and bottom. That works great. Shift A, cylinder. This one we are going to set to an even amount. We'll do 20, tab, scale, Shift Z, right about there. That should be fine. That looks about good. We're gonna shade auto smooth on that, GZ, GZ. We'll set this to right about where our world origin is here, the origin. Set that nice and happy, and then right click, set origin, 3D cursor, that's what I meant, not world origin, 3D cursor, and then scale on the Z axis, and that should bring that up. Now I'm going to go back to this view camera. We're going to scale this up to probably right about here. I want it to be about that tall. That seems fine, and we can do both one coming off in like that, and we can also do the double that are coming off like that. So you can have one on the median, or you can have one that's on the side of the road. Hopefully we can get that done today. I think that should be fine. I want to make this as quick and easy as possible so you guys don't have another 30-minute tutorial here. Just something quick. Let us take this top one and go 3, X face, 1, loop select. I have grid fill built in, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And then I am most likely going to go with this, and I was looking at some lights, and it looks like the main pole actually just goes up on some lights and then comes out of the side. So we might do that. So I might go like this, R, bring this up, boom, Control R. We'll have this nice and capped right here. I might go 3, go Alt E, extrude faces along normals, and bring that out just a little bit, just to add some small detail there. Like there's a cap on top, and then I also might go like this with this one too. Loop select that, Control Bevel, GZZ, bring that up, Scale Z. Get this more or less square, and then with this, let's make sure I'm looking the right direction here. I want to grab a square of this, so we're going to hit 3, Control Shift Select over till we have like a little square here. That seems to be about right. And then I am probably going to go Control D. Let's save, Shift D, and P by selection, and then I'm going to select these 3 or these faces, and we're actually going to delete these faces. X face, totally fine. Tab, I'm going to take this, all, Shift E, extrude faces along normals, on the normals, Control Z. Let's go extrude Z. That works great. I like that. We want it to kind of come straight out. Tab. No, I think along the normals. I was wrong. I want it to come out like this. Boom. And we'll add some bolts into that. And then I am going to I'm going to Shift S, cursor to selected. Well, first let's go and set origin to geometry, and then Shift S, cursor to selected. And here I'm going to go Shift A. We're going to add in a Bezier curve, and I am going to hit tab for edit mode. I'm going to select this, Shift A, Shift S, selection to cursor. That works. I like that. G, Y, G, Y, X, I guess. Interesting that that's X. Whatever. And we're going to look at this in straight on mode just so that we can take this out. I want this. I want to be able to see this, right? And from what I have noticed, this is actually pretty straight on. And let's get this lined up. In fact, I might actually just delete this vertex. I might just grab this one and I might just go extrude like this. So it's nice and straight on. I like that a lot. G. And this one, let's go like this until, and let's go GX, GZ, and we can take this out, GX, because we want it to have a little bit of a curve to it, but not too much, right? So that's going to be important. And it's just going to kind of come out and over. I want it to have more of a curve down here at the bottom, which I'm going to do with this by going G like that. That's what we want. We want it to kind of come out, and that looks good. And then we can come down to these curves here and we can go geometry, and I want it to have some weight. And that isn't looking bad. That actually looks fairly decent, especially coming out of the middle there. I will have it have more resolution so that we're not getting, we don't want too much notching on it, but we also don't want it to be too crazy. Fill caps, we don't need to fill caps. That's fine. I like how that looks. It looks good to me. I'm going to right click it and I am going to save convert to mesh. Tab. Now that we have that meshed, I'm going to grab this with one and I'm going to loop select that end and we're going to grid fill it. Tab, right click, shade auto smooth. Then I'm going to grab this selection right here and I'm going to turn on the proportional editing and we're going to scale this until, am I on medium point? I am on medium point. So yeah, we're going to scale this. Not too much. I definitely want it to select a lot of this, just not the whole thing, because they do get smaller as they come out. Control Z. Let's actually grab this as well. And then we'll scale. Let's go X, scale like that. That looks semi-decent. Actually doesn't look bad at all. Cool beans. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to go back into edit mode and I am, with these selected, I am going to go Shift S, cursor to selected, so it's kind of like in between that. And we are going to import a cube. Shift A, cube, scale Z, Control Z. We got to turn off proportional editing for this. Scale Z. I want this to be relatively like that. G, X. I'll bring it out to right about there. That's fine. I am going to go Control R in the middle. Turn this down. T to get rid of this toolbar on the side. Scale X. And we actually want to go scale Y in like that. And I might use a subdivision surface modifier on this, but in order to do that, I have to go L while selecting on this. P, selection, tab, select, Q, origin to geometry, tab to get back into edit mode. And we are going to go to here, add a subdivision surface modifier. That looks a lot better. We are definitely going to add some loop cuts here. So I'm going to go Control R, boom, down to the bottom. Tab, auto smooth. We want more than one. See, this is looking great. That's looking fantastic. We're going to go GZ, bring it up. It's honestly looking really good. Go into tab. We're going to hit 3, grab these faces, inset these faces, Control R, make a loop cut, and I'm going to probably bring that forward like that. Control R, just give it a little bit more form. Looking dandy. straight dandy. And then the nice thing is I'm going to take these 3, boom, 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 and we're actually going to extrude these on the z-axis, or honestly we could probably extrude these out like that, as if this is the light, right? That looks really good. I might go 1, and I might grab these and these. Let's turn this off for a second. Boom, boom. And I might go right click, flatten GX, like that. And then we can turn this back on and we can see what that looks like. I just want that to be a little bit more in line, if you will. And these, we might go G, Y, like that. And it kind of looks a little bit more like a light. I'm definitely going to go Control R right here, and I'm going to make this a little bit closer to the bevel that the other ones have. There is your light. Now the nice thing about this is we can go 3 with the faces on this. We can do a loop select there, shift select these. Now we have kind of just that bump right there selected. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go new, assign, new. We're going to call this light, and this one we're going to have this be metal. So I already have a metal material that I will throw on top of this. So we'll just leave that the way it is. But let's click on the light. Let's come down here, emission, set this to 3, should be fine. 3 will be good. Yeah, that should be fine. I like that. And if this doesn't do what we want it to do, we can take this down to like 2. We could set this to honestly like 7. Because I kind of want it to do what this one's doing, where it's really actually setting something, it's really lighting up the ground. It's not really doing that. So we might go X faces 3. No, let's go 2. Boom, boom. Select that loop. Extrude Z like that. And then Q grid fill. Beautiful. That looks awesome. Except what we're going to do with this is we are going to go to here and remove that, assign. That'll have the same material as the other one. We're going to take this, we're going to remove that, exit that, and remove it. Unable to remove material slot in edit mode, tab. Maybe I should read the instructions. Now I can just come here to my asset browser, exit this, turn everything off except for materials, grab a metal material, drop that on there, drop that on there, drop that on here, and then, try and grab maybe a concrete material here. I have a nice stone, but I also have, I kind of like this for concrete, so I'll probably drop this right on there. And it might be missing some of its assets, so I might have to go redo its assets. But let's move in closer to this, and let's make sure this is working. So let's turn the light back up to 0.4, boom. Yeah, it's looking okay. We'll probably have to unwrap all of this, and I forgot to include this. Boom. Shader editor. This will be cast iron. Boom. Like that. And then this, we can come to its subdivision surface modifier, and we can apply. Boom. Tab. Yeah, it's not too much geometry. And I am going to make all of this connected to this one by going Control Join. And so now we can rotate, and it'll always be rotating across the center point, etc., etc. Now, unfortunately, this will not work as far as duplicating, right? But I would like to Shift A, light, spotlight, G, Y, and then this is a nice spotlight, right? Looks great. Set this to 1000, boom, GZ. Now it's actually working, right? Okay, see, we can see the spotlight here. I want to have the blend a lot, and I want to have the angle a lot wider, something like this. And if we come here and we turn this down to 0.1, honestly, just turn that off. I just want to make sure you can still kind of see that there's a light here, so we're probably going to take this light way up. Let's do 3000 because I want it to be about as bright as the car lights, and that's looking good. Honestly, we could probably even do more than that. Let's do 5000 watts. There we go. And we can honestly take this spot size up even higher. I wouldn't mind it really making light on the ground, because it's, this is what it's meant to do. I will say I do not want multiple importance on. I might turn that off. Cast shadow, yes. Shadow caustics, we don't need that. But I do want it to shine light on itself. It should definitely be a pretty wide floodlight, like really flood the area. And I do not believe that an area light would work as well. I feel like that's too much. Actually, that's not bad at all. Scale like that. Now we can drop it down to like 2000, and the size, nope. There's a way to spread is, yeah, I think we're gonna do an area light with a lower range of motion here, range, and we can do disk. That looks great. We can do multiple importance. That's fine. And now we can come in here and we can bring this up to 1. That should be good. I like that a lot. Now my question is, can I join it to the geometry? And I do not believe so. Control join. No mesh to data to join. That's what I thought. So there, you won't be able to add an array modifier to this, which really sucks. And I do not know how to fix that. That's kind of sad to me. I will say that. And I think multiple importance does need to be on because we need to see this light. Well, and this is where I'm wondering if I come in here, tab, I already have those selected. If I go back to the materials, add a new material, change it back to light, assign, then that kind of works, right? Tab. That kind of works really well. And this right here needs to be cast iron. I'm gonna just select. Let's go 3, loop select that, shift select this, control select this, and assign, cast iron, tab. And let's come, so that looks really good. And one thing we can do now that this is all selected, right? We can come here and we can bevel modifier this. Or not bevel, array. We can do an array modifier of this. Take that to 0. Take the Y to 6. Probably more than that. Probably 12. Probably more than that. Probably like 20. Boom. That's great. And we can do a major count, right? So then when we come back to view camera and we go G, Y, that's doing that. The only issue I have is this. So Control Z. This can be tied to this Control P, keep transform, G, Y. Oh, this is not tied to it. Boom, boom. And let's go Control J, G, Y, like that. Now these do have the light, right? Like you can see the light, and in that light, honestly, let's go view selected, tab. Let's go to texture here. Oh my heavens, there we go. So let's grab that and grab this, boom. I might take this and go GZ just so you can see it on all of them a little bit more, and we see that there's lights there. I feel like that's really nice, simple, easy, looks decent, right? Like it's fine, looks okay. But I also might tab, loop select this, and assign it to the light as well, just because I feel like that looks a little bit better having all of that, the light. That being said, we are no longer in edit mode. I'm gonna go G, Y, and the nice, this doesn't just help with keeping your scenes interesting, it shows the scale of stuff, right? So when you have something that's obviously repeating in a scene that's naturally repeating in the real world, you're going to, like these lights are 20 lights apart, and we see the distance between these two. But then in the distance you see another one and it's much closer to the previous one than these are, and so it really helps, your brain just automatically catches that sense of scale and is really useful for setting scale in your scene, right? As if you were to have this go way off into the distance, like way off into the distance, like we can rotate our camera on the Z-axis. It's like we really are starting to catch how far away that actually is based off of how far away these two are when they're up close. And so when they get really, really far into the distance and they start getting really, really close, you're really going to notice. It really helps sell that scale. Now, Control Z. That being said, this road does not rotate. I could probably make it rotate. Right now, it's using a array modifier to go, and I know you can set that array to a bevel, or a Bezier curve, rather. And not too used to how that works with warping it. I haven't really messed with that much. Right now we're just building this, so I digress. Let's move on. We now have our light. I am gonna grab my camera, I'm gonna go GZ, holding shift, and I'm gonna come up a little bit. I might come X a little bit, I might rotate Z just to try and catch more of these. But then another thing I need to do is I need to select this, Shift D, Y, and we're gonna bring it over to here. And now I can grab both of these lights, Shift D, actually Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. I am going to grab this. I'm going to go Alt D because then it's linked to the first one. Y, and we are moving it over to here. This will be easy. Now I can grab both of these. Alt D again, Y, Control Y, Control, boom. And these are perfectly lining up. And so now we have these lights on the road, which are really nice. And if I go and I select this first thing, because this is, they're all tied to this. So if I grab that and I right click and I select hierarchy and I go Alt D, Y or X, rotate Z 90 or 180, G, Y, and I move these down, I can come over here and I can make sure G, Y, I can make sure they're pretty lined up, right? And so that's another way of, you're just adding more complexity to your scene, and I can take this down by 2, to be honest with you. We probably don't need this one right here. Just mess with the scene a little bit. It's just helping sell that this is a road, and we'll have to move him obviously to the side of the road that he should be on. One thing this road doesn't have is the lines in the middle, which I need to do. I don't know how I'm gonna do that without the array modifier I have on it not fucking with it. I might be able to do that. It might just have to be geometry. That would be interesting. Yeah, we might do that this time around too. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to take the count down to 4, 3. Yeah, so this one's counts now 3, this one's counts 4, but that kind of it's still helping sell this, right? And then this light right here, G, Y, I might move over. So it's like we do have a light right on us. And this car is atrocious. If we ever get close to this car, you're going to see it fall completely apart. It's a bunch of slapped together images just projected onto geometry. Like, there's so many texture clipping things going on here. But just to help sell scale, I like having low poly assets that I can throw in scenes that just work, right? So view camera. Don't view that car too much. I just built that with projection mapping with an image. It was fun to do, but it did not turn out how I wanted it to turn out. So you guys don't have the tutorial on that because it turned out like garbage. Awesome. So this is great. This is working, right? Like we have added detail to the scene that's helping sell the realism of this. Another thing that really helps sell the realism would be a railing. So I'm gonna select this, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then Shift A, mesh, cube, G, X, G, edit, G, all, G, Z, control, up 1, scale, Shift Z, this should be like this, tilde, zoom in, scale Z, bring that up, lighting, 1, boom, tab, G, Y, boom, boom, boom. That's what I was afraid of. I feel like it should be taller than the car. I do believe it should be taller than the car because it's a railing, right? That should be fine. I'm still super sad about it not being perfectly on the bottom, so I'm gonna go tab X 1, and we're gonna grab all of these, GZ, because I want that. I really want that on the bottom, like super bad. I want that on the bottom. Sick. Tab, and then let's go tab again. Control R. Let's do this. Control R. 2, right click, scale, Z, and this one will be thinner, like that. And then I'm gonna go 3, grab this and this, and this, and we're going to Alt E, extrude faces along normals, something like that, tab. And then here, I'm gonna go Control R, boom. Let's make sure these are perfectly lining up. Control R, actually Control Z, Control R, select this, make sure I'm selecting the whole thing. Cool. GG. Now these will be identical. That works. And then I'm going to go 2 or 3, select this face and select this face and this face. I'm going to go exit faces. And then I'm going to go 2, select this. Actually, we'll go the far ones first so I'm not moving around as much. Far one's face, middle one's face, sides, face, and then these we can just extrude, and we will get these extrude Z and something like that. Something like right there. Same exact. I mean, it's not exact, but that's all we need, right? Oh, and boom, stop it. Boom, boom, face, boom. Sick. Happy? Happy. Now, the top railing should stick out from the bottom railing, so I am going to go with these 3, and I'm going to hit 3, boom, 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 Alt E, extrude faces along normals, like that. And we can honestly do the same with this. Man, I could have used control for that. Alt-E, faces along normals, extrude. That's fine. That works great. Tab. It's just gonna add a little bit more to it, right? Cool thing is, we come here to the array modifier, add array modifier, and we go 0 and we go 1. Look at that. You have a railing. Count 198. We don't need that many. We could do, let's just do 50. Boom. That looks great. Now I will say, we shouldn't be seeing the end of this road here. It's against the rules. So I'm going to go G, Y, and I'm moving this back. I am going to go to this camera and, or honestly, I could go to the road and I could go count, G, Y. This is why we like using the array modifier. It makes setting up scenes super easy. And this, we're going to go with 100, not 1,000, 100. That's great. G, Y, boom. Car, G, Y, boom. This scale, just scale it down. I just want to scale it down. This is another reason why I like to have the scale set at the very bottom of the asset, because when I scale this down, it's just going to all come right to the base of this, right? I don't have to, it's not scaling based off the middle, which is nice, because if I set this like this and then we grab another metal material, which I do have another metal material, asset browser, I have this scuffed metal, boom. It's a little too shiny for my taste. If we go to the shader editor, and I might go like this, view selected, actually Control Z, Shift A, mesh, plane, and then view selected. Now I'm viewing the plane. This is a little too shiny for me, and I think it lost track of the Control Z, selected object. We lost track of the, oh no, it's still got its texture. So I'm gonna select this, but I think it's set to color, not non-color, which is no bueno, RGB. We set this to non-color, and that fixes a lot of things. We right click, actually tab, all, U, cube projection, tab, Control A, scale, and then we come here and we go bevel modifier. That's great. I love that. It just adds a little bit of extra detail to it, and we can scale that down. Control Z. Let's bring this up above this, because I don't, yeah, 2. There we go. Something like that. That looks great. And then we can come here and we can go UVs on this, and we can really ramp up these UV changes as it moves around. I really want it to change a decent amount. I mean, not that we're going to be seeing it that close, but now that we have this here, right, it's also still just a little too shiny for my taste. And so, and it looks like I have some form of ambient occlusion happening here, but it's not really working. To try and get that point data, this needs to be much higher, like that. And this, see, that's great. That's the inside. This is all we want. We don't even want this one. This other one right here sucks. Forget this. Let's see what this looks like. That looks fantastic. And that is mixing in whatever color this is, which this needs to be brown and not metallic and rough, like that, because we want some rust there. That looks great. Boom. That looks fantastic. Yes, me gusta. Cool. And so now this has some roughness being added to it, which looks great. Looks fantastic. Got some rust in these small areas. And we can come in here and we can manipulate that. So I almost want to take this straight over here to this factor. There we go. And we can start, that looks fantastic. I love that. We can come into this. I want this color to be a noise texture, or not a noise texture. We'll do color ramp. No, yeah, noise. Actually, I think there's already, what do we got here? To color ramp, set this to be pretty dark metal, and then set this to be maybe some slight greening metal, also dark. Cool. Set that into the base color, and metallics all the way up. What does the roughness look like on this? Oh my heavens. Why is the roughness so high? We need to come in here, and I need this to drop a decent amount. Bring this up. Yeah, there we go. Boom. That makes the metal look nice and rugged and been through some stuff. Happiness. Got grunge down in the cracks. We've got some reflective bits and some non-reflective bits. And if you're looking at this from any angle, it looks fantastic. Look at that. That just looks great. And it's totally usable on whatever kind of distance you need it to be usable on. And it really does help sell. It looks like we do need to add some more to it. So I'm going to go 150. Fantastic. Happy. It's probably still not all the way into the distance. It is all the way into the distance. That's wonderful. And last but not least, I am going to come onto this and I'm going to go tab. I'm going to view selected. I'm going to go Shift A, cube, G. Let's go tab. Let's go Shift A. No, Shift S. Cursor to selected. Tab. Exit faces. Shift A, cube, scale X, scale Y. Nope, that's fine. Scale Z, scale Z. And I just want this slightly raised off the ground like that. That's perfect. Tab. That's beautiful. I might even drop that down even a little bit more. Tab. Cool. We're going to come to the materials and I am going to go new material, assign, boom. We're going to change this, boom, to like an orange yellow, like that. Look at that. Look at that. It's even raised off the ground. And then you're only adding a few quads. It's not that big of a deal. Rough, it's going to be pretty, actually it's pretty shiny and it's actually quite metallic. But we'll keep the roughness up because it is reflective. And then honestly, what I might do with the roughness here is I might go road and grab this bump, right click, copy, click this material, Control V. Oh, didn't grab all of the nodes out of it. That's fine. We'll go back to this. I might go boom, right click, copy, and then go back to this, Control V, G, boom, good. And then we'll take this right into the normal on this. And just so this has the same bump as the road, I'm gonna go all, nope, select this, linked, U, unwrap, cube projection. That's got a little bit of bump on it now. And I might go Control T, get rid of this, exit, boom. This is UV'd, boom, and boom. Now that's got some bump on it, tab, let's see what it looks like. I might do more than one of those and I might make them bigger. So tab, scale, Y, G, Y, Shift D, Y, Shift D, Y. Just make sure they're kind of the same distance apart, right? You want them kind of about even. I don't want too many gaps that don't make sense. Boom, like that. Seems to be pretty good. I do want that roughness up a decent amount. Boom. I do not want it to be reflective in any way. See, because that's kind of reflective and it shouldn't be. So maybe I take that metallic down. Still kind of reflective, which is a little funky. Road, lines, cool, cool. View camera. I don't know why it's reflective. Base color shouldn't be. That seems about right. I'm going to take this to here, Shift D, put that there. Look at this. Yeah, it's still kind of reflective. I want it really rough. And then I want this to be orange and this to be yellow as hell. Man, I wonder if it needs a slight emission. Let's go to emission, color in 0.2. Nope, 0.05. I think that's good. I think 0.05. Just because it reflects light like perfectly, but it's not supposed to be, but only if the light's coming directly from the light source, right? So if you're standing right at the light source, it'll be perfectly reflective, reflect white back, right? It like lights up, but then it's retro reflective. It's not reflective, it's retro reflective. But that, you know, these are like little ways where it's like now this, if I command save and we just call this, road assets, actually let's just call it street light and railing. Boom, save blend file. That is how you can make some cool simple assets to make your scenes look a little bit more believable, and they're usable if you go up to the asset, right? So if I go out of edit mode and I select this, command save, and I rename it street light, boom, and right click, mark as asset, command save the project, boom. Select this, railing, right click, mark as asset, command save. I can go into my asset browser now, turn this off, and I should be able to look for railing. There it is, right there. You just drop it in, which is super sick. There's a railing. Same with my street lights, and it's already got the array modifier on it, which is completely editable. Again, it's all in there. The other cool thing is it also includes whatever materials you put on it. So now I don't have to rematerial this, it's just there. And same with the railing. So that's what makes this super cool. That's what makes this super useful. And that's how I'm dragging and dropping some of these other things in, is I have built this asset library and I'm trying to build an asset library where whenever I want to make a scene, I have almost everything I need right at my fingertips. And the other nice thing is these aren't assets that anyone else has. These are handmade by me. Do you need to do that? And if you're hired to build a scene, do you need to do that? No, not at all. It doesn't have to be original assets unless requested by whoever's hiring you. But if it came to getting a job doing VFX or getting a job doing a scene, I don't see a problem with buying someone else's asset pack. That's totally fine. In fact, why waste man hours on creating assets from scratch when you can just get immediately into creating that scene? Doesn't make sense to me. If you were to work in VFX, most of them have asset libraries or have purchased asset libraries because, again, time is money. So if you're spending time building assets, you're not spending time delivering a product. So if you can just go pick up, I mean, shoot, Kitbash 3D is just, they have some of the highest quality assets I've ever seen, and they're sick. Most of the assets I make are actually made out of images. So like this castle door, let's zoom in on this little teaser. I don't even think I recorded making this. I think I just did this for fun. It's from a photo of a castle door, and I just extruded it where I needed to extrude it and use the material of the door. I'm using the same material of the door. This is just the picture, right? But then I made a black and white version of it, plugged that into a bump map, and plugged that into the roughness to get kind of like, oh, the door itself is shiny and the rock isn't, the stone isn't. But this in the background of a scene would work perfect. It works great. It's like it's a nice, gives that parallax that you need. You drop it into a castle wall, boom, you got a door. So cheers. This video ended up, of course, being way longer than it needed to be. Have a good one, you guys. I really appreciate it.